hosted the Marietta Tigers. In the second inning, Marietta up 4-0. Here's Colton Renard cutting into that lead with the RBI single up the middle. Next batter, Renard, he's going to take off, and the throw down skips past the second baseman, and the runner from third, he's going to test his luck and come home, and he slides in safely. 2-4 now. Another hit back up the middle. This time it's Dylan Pecula driving in another run, and the Yellow Jackets just down 1 run. Now with the runner on second, he's going to take off for third, and that's Daniel Cunningham on the move, and it's going to hit Cunningham actually, and the umpire will award the Yellow Jackets the run. Here's Owen Warden getting out of the inning with the line out to the second baseman, but Williamstown ties it up at 4. Here's Elijah McLeish skying one to left center, and Daniel Cunningham sliding and making the catch from his knees as the Yellow Jackets with the clean inning. Marietta also playing some solid defense as they turn the double play 6-4-3 to get out of the inning. Here's Will Torrance. He's going to hit one to center that is misread by the center fielder Cunningham, and 1 run will come across, and right behind him is 1 more. And the Marietta Tigers would go on to win 9-6 over the Yellow Jackets.